Good afternoon, my beautiful babes and babettes. I'm your resident active advocate, and I have a little song for you. Cruella De Vil, Cruella De Vil. If this doesn't get me copyright stricken, nothing will. Actually don't know how much of a song you can sing on YouTube without getting a copyright strike. But anyway, today we are talking specifically about Cruella De Vil, the Fabulous, from Disney's 101 Dalmatians. The movie is okay. At least the first half of the movie is fine. But, Cruella, again, is the most interesting character in this movie because she is just glamorously evil. Oh my goodness. She is so into herself that she's willing to go to any cost to look good. You see the same kind of motivations in her as you do in Maleficent, but to different ends. For Maleficent, it's just evil for the sake of being evil. For Cruella, at least she has a proper quotation marks, motivation compared to Maleficent, which is to do evil for the sake of looking good. And I don't mean looking good in the sense of I look like a good person, someone you can trust, but looking good as in I project gloriousness and wealth and I'm very fabulous and awesome and worthy of being idolized just because of the giant fur coats I wear. The rest of her is nothing to look at. She's not an appealing human being, but she's very loud, she's very bombastic, she knows exactly what she wants, she's extremely driven, and again, you see the same character type across multiple female Disney villains, so villainesses, that they will be often very narcissistic, very vain, very power hungry, very driven. I think that the Disney narrative of the time was that women who know what they want, and above all, women who know how to get what they want. From Disney's point of view, that is a bad thing. Those are the evil people that you need to watch out for. Thankfully, both the company and society have come a ways since then, but Cruella, like Maleficent, is written as having some kind of narcissism going on, but it's to a much smaller, at least in scale, it's to a much smaller scale. Because she doesn't want to rule the world, she doesn't want to hurt people, she doesn't just want to be evil for the sake of being evil, it's just to look fabulous. And I really, really like this character, just like with Maleficent. Like I say, she's the most interesting character in the movie. Not exactly bar none in this case, because I really like the main couple. Roger, I believe his name is, and Anita. And I really like their puppies, and they have many puppies. And Cruella De Vil wants to make a fur coat out of the puppies. I have problems with that because animal abuse is not good. I would be a vegetarian if I could be. I can't be. But I really don't like the whole animal abuse angle that this movie takes. Again, though, she's willing to go to any cost to look glamorous and look fabulous and project wealth and prestige, but she doesn't care about, in Maleficent's case, it was any life at all. In Cruella de Vil's case, it's specifically animal life. They exist for the sake of becoming my coat. And that, to me, is just nasty. That's just bad. And I have my lovely consultant who adores animals as much as I do, probably more. And especially puppies, because puppies are awesome. 2 thumbs up. We give 2 thumbs up to all puppy people. But for Cruella, not only people but animals are means to an end. And the way she will talk over people as well, whom she perceives as to be less ambitious, less fabulous, less less brave and bombastic and outgoing as herself. The way she'll just steamroll over top of them is a definite indicator of the fact that she is self-obsessed and probably does have what you could classify as narcissistic personality disorder. Again, this is a very common theme in villainesses in Disney, and there are probably going to be more of those as we go on, but as the studio grew, it had to grow into what society was doing as well, because media informs society and society informs media. This is a symbiotic, thank you, relationship. Symbiotic, I'm dumb. I can't think. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What do you want? But, the one informs the other. So Disney had to keep up with what society was doing outside of its parameters. And yes, things do evolve in the media outside of Disney. Thank you. Because it's more than just the media that controls our lives, thankfully. It's a big part of what controls our lives. And a lot of us, at least under the surface, want to be like Cruella De Vil, or we are programmed to think that we want to be like Cruella De Vil. She is the ultimate capitalist. She just wants to be fabulous. That's all she wants. That is her motivation in life, and that's the motivation of quite a lot of people who are sold this whole mindset of, if you don't have this, if you don't look this way, then you are not a person of value. And that is very much what DeVille believes. But, I mean, come on, that name isn't even subtle. Cruella De Vil. Cruel Devil, Cruella De Vil. That's not even subtle. That's just amazing. I think. I enjoy this character quite a lot, as I say. But I think that there are better villainesses out there than her, because her motivation is there, her motivation is present, but it's very, very simple and very, very shallow. A lot of the time you will see villainesses, especially with shallow motivations, or what you would consider shallow motivations. Not as much with the villains, though, which, again, changed in Disney cinema throughout time. And I appreciate the fact that this has become less and less of a trope as we have gone on into the 2000s and then beyond. I mean, it's interesting. One thing that I have heard about the media is that it has kind of failed to realize, in many regards, that we are now in the 21st century. And we've been here for 21 years. So it's been a while, right? Kind of time to grow up and evolve here, because the 19th century, or I'm sorry, the 20th century, saw so much in the way of social action, social liberation, but also social transformation through the world wars, through the suffragettes earlier than that, through the civil rights movement and beyond, and, gay rights, trans rights, women's rights, racial, quote, other rights. These things are very, very good, and they need to keep going. But we have to take them to the next level. And I believe that a lot of the going to the next level is informed by the media and what the media programs us to want and programs us to feel we are capable of doing. Disney is a big power player in that. Don't get me wrong. But as I say, there are forces out there other than Disney. Don't go to Disney if you want a really good stand-up message a lot of the time, because even when they come to their coming-of-age stories and their self-discovery stories, which are better than their earlier works, it's still, a lot of the time, the end of, you should fit into society by the end. You might do it in your own way, but you should still fit in. And that's not going to happen for a lot of people who are told by society that they are inferior. And that applies to Cruella De Vil as well, because without her fabulous fur coat, she's this little, skinny, kind of ugly woman who doesn't really have a lot going for her except for a gigantic car. So if you look past the fur, what is there that is of substance? That's the whole problem with capitalism, saying that this thing you own gives you substance. But if you take that thing away, what's underneath it? That is what I actively advocate you develop. Not just, I'm talking about like a general you, okay? I'm not speaking to any specific person. I'm speaking to myself here as well. Because there's quite a lot of personality work to be done. And strip away the tags, strip away the ribbons. What do you come away with when you don't have your stuff? Who are you, basically, is what I'm asking. As opposed to, you know, how are you defined by your clothes? How are you defined by your jewelry? How are you defined by the things you own? That's not important. How are you defined in your head and in your heart, metaphorically speaking? So, that's my video and my soapbox of the day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm not sure what movie we're doing next, but I will figure that out tonight and we will get there together and it will be lovely and wonderful. All right. Thank you very much for your lovely attention and participation, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Mwah!